32. So all the temperatures just about the same as yesterday. Turning now to our national map. Get it out for you in just a moment. From west to east, quite a bit of rain here in the Pacific Northwest through the Washington and Oregon area.
Well, you have to ask,
Over the weekend, Lieutenant General Nguyen Van Tu, Chief of State and military candidate for president, finally showed up at a rally with the civilian candidates. That story from Charles Murphy in South Vietnam. We'll get that story from Charles, not quite ready yet. In the meantime, at the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, the 6th annual meeting of the Midwestern Governors Conference opens today. High on the agenda will be such topics as racial violence in the cities and politics 1968. For a report, here is Don Oliver at the conference. Well, we'll have that report a little later, too. This story, I'm sure I can handle myself. In Srinagar, the capital of Kashmir, there was a rumor last week that a young Hindu girl had been kidnapped and forced into marriage with a Muslim. It was enough to set off 3 days of riots between Hindus and Muslims. Buildings have been set afire, 250 have been injured. The army has been called out to help, and today, a total curfew was imposed over the entire city of Srinagar. There was no word on the young Hindu girl, or even if the rumor was true. The so-called Torch of Peace is moving slowly across the continent from San Francisco this morning in the hands of a relay of runners. It is a peace campaign of a new kind. That story from John Dancy in San Francisco. You're kidding. Well, we'll have that story a little later on. I hope we find time for all of these things. There's news from the Italian town of Caramanico Terme today that will surprise no one. Some people are genuinely allergic to work. According to a report submitted to a conference on allergies, muscular activity on the part of those afflicted by work releases an extra amount of histamine, a stimulant that causes rashes and allergies. With a newscast like that, I'm getting more allergic every minute. Are we going to try for some of these stories now? We're ready. Over the weekend, as we told you, Lieutenant General Van Tu, who is one of the presidential candidates in South Vietnam, finally started some campaigning with the civilians. And here's that story now from Charles Murphy in South Vietnam. So what page do you want, Larry? Do the weather. Do the weather. Okay. Probably won't get the weather map this time. No. We do have difficulties once in a while like that because of the nature of this program. We switch around to several different parts of the country, and sometimes it works very well. Other times we have our difficulties, and we're having them this morning.
This has always been a street of attraction for tourists and especially young people who come through here with the idea of seeing what Skid Row looks like.
Well, are they in any danger at all?
No danger whatsoever. There's no danger.
Hey, he's a damn lie. Hey,
Now, listen, we're conducting an interview here. Just a minute. Just a
You
minute.
get out of the way.
Just a
Get out of the way.
Go right ahead, Brigadier.
There's a police car over there. Do you want to get in trouble?
I've been in jail 99,000 times.
Now, listen, we're trying to get an interview here. Just go right ahead
I
about
just
your
found
business. Go right ahead about your business. Brigadier, you were starting to say that this is a safe street.
Yes, it is a safe street.
It seems the majority of the people are confused over Proposition 14. If you're one of those, we advise that you read up on the initiative before going to the poll in November. Remember, if you're for the initiative, you're against the Rumford Fair Housing Bill. If you're against the initiative, you're for the Rumford Fair Housing Bill. I will try that again. If you're against the initiative, you're against the... If you're for the initiative, you're against...
This is a war in which we often literally have to dig out the enemy, and these highly trained German Shepherd dogs are helping to do the job. Along with their U.S. Army trainers, these dogs come from the U.S. Their dogs and their Vietnamese handlers are trained to do just about everything: track and flush out the enemy, retrieve hidden or lost weapons, attack on command, just about everything except fire a gun. When we're checking villages for hidden communists, these dogs play a major role. They found one red Matahari, a long-sought Viet Cong woman spy, hiding in a cleverly concealed tunnel beneath a trapdoor.
Is this a plane that can run well on one engine?
It runs best on one engine. That's all it has.
Well, that's all it has.